Hey everyone, welcome back. In this session, we're going to look at a song that is honestly one of my favorites. I think it's a really powerful, passionate song where they touch on really the raw emotion of being like an outsider and just struggling with life. So we're talking about Creep by Radiohead. It's an amazing song. It really is just raw emotion, especially when it goes into the chorus. With those, those guitars that come in. I'm not gonna do that here. I'm not gonna power up the amps or anything. But basically, we wanna look at the structure and the chord progression of the song and see what we can take away from it and what kind of inspiration we can get from it. But first of all, we need to understand this chord progression. It's not a straight up chord progression, okay? So it is in the key of G major, but not really. I mean, it borrows a bunch of chords, okay? Well, not a bunch of chords. There's only 4 chords in the whole song. So we got G major, okay? So that's our home base. That's our root. But in G major, we sort of don't have 2 of these chords. I believe they got B major. That's not in G major. B minor is in G major. They got C major, that is in G major, but then C minor, okay, which is not in G major. But that doesn't matter, okay? We're talking about a progression that flows really nicely. And this is a good example of a progression that on paper, it's all over the shop. If you look at your circle of fifths, it's just all over the place. Okay, so you got a G major, you got a B major, C major, and C minor. And that's pretty much the progression of the whole song. It repeats that. That's for the verses and also for the chorus. Okay, so it's also going to be a good example for us to look at in relation to melodic lines, because the chord progression doesn't change, but the verses and the chorus are 2 different melodic lines, aren't they? But we have the same chord progression, and that's how so many songs can share the same chord progression, because it's the melodic line that changes, okay? That's the real gold is the melodic line. It's not the chord progressions. But of course, chord progressions, rhythm, lyrics, everything is part of that package, okay? But for me, personally, and this is a question of opinion, other songwriters believe that lyrics are the most important thing. There are songwriters as well that believe that music is more important, and I guess that also depends on the genre that we're talking about. But in pop rock, this world that I'm in, the melodic line is king, okay? And of course rhythm is important, of course your chord progression, of course all of that is important. Everything comes into play. But chord progressions are a dime a dozen, okay? It's just a chord progression, although this one is a beautiful one. So let's have a look at it. We start off with G major. B major. C major. C minor. Very nice change. Beautiful. And back to G. And it does that throughout the whole song. It doesn't change at all. So as far as chord progressions go, it's as simple as it gets, in the sense that you don't have to worry about what the song is doing, in the verse, the bridge. There's no bridge, I don't think, in this song. No, there isn't. There's no pre-chorus, whatever you want to call it. Okay? All right, so let's have a look at it. So it goes like this. It goes like, when you were here before, couldn't look you in the eyes, you're just like an angel, your skin makes me cry. And it repeats that twice. There's 2 verses, and then it goes, I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo, what the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Okay, so that's pretty much it. It repeats, of course, verses, chorus, versus chorus. There's a bit of a break in there where he does that vocal, incredible performance. Amazing, really. But that's the gist of it. That's the long and short of the song. Pretty much, that's what it does, okay? It just repeats these chords over and over and over again. And when we look at the melodic line of the song, so when we compare the melodic line from the verses to the chorus, let's see what we get, okay? Let's try this. When you were here before. Okay, so it does that in the first part of the G for the verse. When you were here before. What does it do in the chorus? I'm a creep. You hear where that's gone? When you were here before. I'm a creep. Same chord, different melodic line. Okay, pretty cool. Let's check out the next, the B. Couldn't look you in the eyes. And in the chorus it goes, I'm a widow. There is a distinct difference there. Now, the lyrics are helping along a lot here because obviously that's the hook of the song. I'm a creep. It's the title, Creep, okay? So that is contributing in a big way, but it's the melodic line that is being distinguished here between the verse and the chorus. So you have, when you were here before. And in the chorus, you got, I'm a creep. See? It's got a different hook, different catch, more of a chorusy feel, but very similar, isn't it? They're very similar, but different enough to distinguish between those two parts so that it's not a repeating verse, 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 and there's no chorus, okay? There's a small distinction, but enough to separate the verse from the chorus, which is pretty cool. Now, when we look at the key of this song, the key of G major, which it's not really in the key of G major, it is and it isn't, okay? Keys are very flexible, by the way. So we do have our circle of fifths. We do have that tool, which is amazing when we're looking at what key we're in, what chords we have available to us. It's great, especially when we're using the favorite mistake technique and the inspired writing technique from the course. For those of you that are not on it, that's part of the Melody Experiment course. But at any rate, we do use that and other tools. But you got to remember, keys are very flexible. You can borrow, and which is what is happening here. So in the key of G, we do not have a B major. We have a B minor, okay? We do have a C major. We don't have a C minor. We don't, okay? So in the key of G, we got G major, right? We got C major. We got D major, okay? D major, C major, G major. And we got three minors. We got A minor. We got B minor, and we got E minor. So that's the key of G major. So if we were gonna take Creep and actually work out a new melodic line or actually get inspiration from this song, we would look at the key of G major. Keep in mind that we have those extra chords which are not in the key of G major, which is B major and C minor, okay, from this song. We have those two chords that are not in the key, but we also want to know what is in the key. So this way we have the flexibility to explore and to take that inspiration in a new direction, of course. We want to write a new song. So we want to use the inspiration, but then take our own way as soon as we find, a new road, right? Out of Creep, but drawing from Creep. Okay, so that's where artists have that inspiration, that natural influence that comes with every band has it, and even in interviews you'll hear them talking about it. Yeah, I was influenced heavily by Led Zeppelin or Stones or whatever the case may be, and oftentimes you can hear that influence in their music. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's just completely in a totally different direction, but oftentimes you can hear that little bit of inspiration in there, which is pretty awesome. But it's always been done on a subconscious level. And what we want to do is become a little more conscious of our influences and a little more conscious of that inspiration, okay? So if we have here G major, okay, we have our 6 chords, G major, D major, C major, A minor, B minor, E minor, okay, we've got our chords. And so what are we gonna do? Let's, first of all, check out this song again, kill the lyrics, okay? We don't want the creep lyrics. We're gonna use na-na-nas, we're gonna use humming, we're gonna use whatever we're gonna use, okay? I love gibberish. You can do it in any way you want, but you gotta have some way of working out that melodic line. Now, if you don't sing, or if you don't wanna use your voice, and you wanna use an instrument instead, that's cool. You'd have to have, obviously, the backing track playing somewhere, or some kind of chord progression playing, or if you have a co-writer, they can have a guitar, you can have your sax, or your violin, or your guitar, or piano, whatever other instrument. Because if you're gonna do an instrumental, that doesn't change anything, okay? You're still gonna need a melodic line, okay? So you're gonna work that out somehow. It's just a lot easier with the vocal, and even with instrumentalists like Mobstein, Yngwie, I think, Yngwie Mobstein, that virtuoso guitarist. So he works out a lot of his melodic lines with his voice. So he'll have worked out his chord progression, and then on top of that, he'll with his vocal work out the soloing, right? The melodic line. That's what he's working out. So it doesn't matter how you do it, I guess, is at the end of the day, figure out the best way for you and go for it. So let's see what we can do, okay? Now remember, we've got the key of G major. We don't only have the chords that we were working with for creep. We've got the chords, the other 6 chords, the 6 chords that belong to the key of G, okay? So, oh, baby, don't wait now. About it, yeah. Nah, not that great, okay? But it's a question of trial and error and exploration here. Keep that in mind. This is not something that happens like that. Okay, this is something that requires, like, I'm trying to quicken it up here for you guys, and I'll chop it up as well, obviously, because otherwise, you know, this takes a while to develop these ideas, to maintain that inspiration and explore and find something amazing and unique based on your favorite song. So it's pretty cool. So let's see what else we can come up with here real quick. Oh, baby, don't hold me close. I'm waiting inside. I feel you do what I wrote. Oh, baby, don't cry. So we're fully in the key of G here, right? Still. That's the value of knowing the key you're in and the chords that you're in, because you could quickly explore them. See which one sounds better. Baby, don't ride at night. I like that. So we're in a row every day, by no silent road. Even though it sounds a bit familiar, it's okay. I feel you know. We're a far way away from creep now, aren't we? Okay? Okay? And that's the idea. You don't want to stay on your inspiration. Not too closely anyway. And some songs, you'll find you can get ideas a lot quicker than other songs, but look, it's just a question of using your influences, using what you're passionate about to write your own songs. And that was the inspired writing technique, but there's also the favorite mistake technique that we cover in the course, and the freestyle, which the freestyle really doesn't have anything to do with inspiration. But the inspired writing technique and the favorite mistake technique are both using existing songs. With the favorite mistake technique, it's the opposite. So you keep the melodic line and you just change the chords around. Whereas with the inspired, you keep the chords and you change the melodic line. So I didn't even do it properly here, but it's just a question of getting inspiration. If we did it the proper way with the inspired writing technique, we would keep this chord progression, okay? We'd keep it. The only reason I didn't keep it is because it's very identifiable. And that happens with some songs. Some songs are super identifiable by their music, okay? Their foundation, not just the melodic line. The melodic line, you can identify a song easily. Somebody can just hum, whatever song, and you'll be, yeah, that's it, right? You know it. But the music underneath it is oftentimes, whatever. It doesn't really make a difference. That's why there's a lot of songs that share the same chord progression, like I mentioned earlier, okay? But some songs are super identifiable by that music. This, I feel, is one of them, It's almost like trying to write a song based on Stairway to Heaven. That part, that music underneath Stairway to Heaven, what Robert Plant is singing, that music is super identifiable. You can't use that, really. You can't just use that. That's like, hey, that's Stairway to Heaven, even without the melodic line, okay? Okay, let's give it a shot with the inspired writing technique, okay? Let's give that a shot. Wouldn't why weeding away. I want my little, I didn't say. So that's our melodic line, okay? Let's see what we can do. That's the original, right? Got our life on the seat, heaven night on the beat. I can feel your love around me. I can see you come around me. I feel your love is on my mind. Oh baby, don't you wanna cry on little light? Oh, I feel your love now. I feel your love is out. Oh baby, don't you wanna be the one to tell me now? See they didn't need down. Look, it's, still pretty close, I think, right? What do you think? Let me know. But I think that's still too close. It's hard to get out of that melodic line when I'm using that chord progression. I think if I worked on it a little more, just gave myself a little more time, I could probably come up with something more unique. But it'd be a challenge, that's for sure. And I might get there, I might not get there. And that's the whole point, is just exploration. When you're using inspiration consciously, and you're actually, using a song and you love and that you're passionate about, and you're like, you know what, I want to use that as my foundation and build from there, then, you got to give yourself that time. Sometimes it comes quick, but more often than not, it's something that you got to really work on, really like take your time, relax, find a nice quiet space, and just really get into the feel and the passion of the song that you're working with. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope that helped you guys. Until next time, take care.